Galileo. Introduction. What do a chandelier and the planet Venus have in common? They each played a part of discoveries of one of history's greatest scientists have 500 years ago. His name was Galileo Galilei. Galileo's childhood. Galileo was born in Italia in 1564. From a young age, he was good at asking questions, though his questions got him in trouble. Galileo changed the way we understand the world. A student, as a young man, Galileo wanted to learn about math and physics, the science of matter, energy, and motion. He made one of the first discoveries in physics a year before he entered university. One day in 1582, Galileo watched a chandelier hanging from the ceiling inside a church. He saw that the wind outside was making a chandelier swing back and forth. He also saw something strange. Although some swings were wider than others, every swing took exactly the same amount of time. By watching the chandelier, Galileo discovered that a weight that swings back and forth can keep time. Later, he figured out to build a clock using this idea. Clocks like his are still to use today. Galileo did not study math when he first entered university in 1583. His father wanted him to become a doctor instead. Galileo's study of medicine never interested him much, though. In fact, he never finished his studies. He left university in 1585 because of money problems. For the next 4 years, Galileo taught math. However, he did not give up his interest in science. The professor in 1589 returned to the university as math professor. He continued to ask questions and test things. For example, he did several tests with falling objects to see what would happen. However, the discovery that would make him famous were still to come. The astro, astronomer, uh, astronomers, the astronomer in 1669, Galileo heard about a spyglass invented in Netherlands. When the person looked through the spyglass, faraway objects looked closer. Galileo had never seen a spyglass, but he figured out how to build one. Soon he was able to make objects far away look 30 times bigger. In other words, Galileo built a telescope. He began to use his telescope to study the night sky. Galileo's Galileo's telescope changed his life and science forever. With his telescope, Galileo made discovery after discovery. He saw the surface of the sun sometimes had dark spots on it. He discovered Jupiter for largest moon. He was the first person to see that the planet Venus appeared to change shape, just as the moon does. Sometimes Venus looked like a full circle, and sometimes it was just a thin slice of light in the night sky. Galileo put some of this discovery in a book called "The Starry Messenger" in 1610. The book made Galileo famous. The fame had a price. In trouble with the Church, Galileo's discovery about the solar system got him in trouble. The Catholic Church was not happy about his ideas because they were different from Church teachings. For centuries, the Church had taught that Earth was the center of our solar system. The Church believed the sun, moon, planets, and stars all moved around Earth. The Galileo's discovery of changing shape of Venus didn't fit this picture. Taken together, Galileo's discovery were big clues that the solar system moved around Sun, not Earth. He was not the first person to come up with this idea. However, his discoveries were best proof yet that Earth was not the center of our solar system. The Church did not like this idea. At that time, the Church could put people on trial for ideas that went against Church teachings. In 1633, the Church put Galileo on trial and found him guilty. Galileo was forced to say that his discoveries had been lies. Even though he knew they were not, the Church ordered Galileo to stay in his home for the rest of his life. He was also told not to publish any more books. Galileo continued to write down his ideas anyway. He published his final books, Two New Science, Two New Sciences, in 1638. At this point, Galileo had become blind, and his health was poor. He died in 1642 of natural causes. A science after Galileo. We know now that Galileo was right. Earth does move around Sun. Galileo's gift for asking important questions helped him make some of the greatest discoveries of his time. Galileo was the first scientist to say that laws of nature could be written down using math. He was also one of the first scientists to always use measurements in his experiments. In this way, he made it easier for other scientists to test his ideas. Galileo was a model for many scientists who followed him, including Isaac Newton and Albert Einstein. Now, today, we call him the father of modern science.